What is up, everybody, from our AT&T 5G virtual studios? Welcome to our MLS is Back Watchalong show. I'm Susannah Collins, so happy to be joined by Matt Doyle, Calen Carr, Mike Labelle. It is great to see you all. On opening day, the 27th MLS season is off to a fantastic start. And guys, we are going to be here for the next couple of hours, keeping tabs on all the matches that are going on. And we're so happy to have you along on this ride. On that note, we want you guys to drive the conversation, get involved. We've got the Twitch chat open. We've got the YouTube chat open. So get in there, ask us some questions, give us your feedback. What have you loved about today? We want to hear it all. So guys, hello. So pumped to be with you. We've got a few MLS games in the books already, and let's talk about what we have seen so far. Calen, let's start with you. What has stood out to you so far today?
Well, Susannah, lovely to see you, first of all, and everybody here. Welcome back to the new season. I'm so hyped right now. And boy, I mean, like, the only thing I can think about right now is Carlos Vela just scoring goals, back to – like, I feel like, you know, time stopped for a little while, and then it's like, okay, now we're maybe a little bit back to normal here. With Carlos Vela just kind of pulling a rabbit out of his hat so casually, 3 goals.
Casual brace.
Yeah, you love it.
Day.
So that's
hat trick.
Yeah.
First half brace, hat trick. I was not expecting that. Doyle, you knew. I feel like you knew that Carlos Vela was going to deliver something special this season.
Well, you see, Sue,
I should have listened to you.
My good friend Calen Carr on Extra Time earlier this week was talking about the fact that our friend Carlos Vela is in a contract year. And he came out in this game, and he looked like a man who wants a new contract. And when he's playing like that, you kind of want to give him a new contract. That is the depth of my analysis at this point. I like watching Carlos Vela when he wants a new contract.
That's, I honestly feel really dumb at this point because it makes so much sense. And I couldn't agree with you more. Mike Labelle, you're looking very sharp, and I see you've got your Red Bulls jersey on. You're representing. What have you enjoyed about today so far?
Well, I'd love the back door on some of the Carlos Vela. I'm looking for the next upgrade that he's going to get in FIFA here as well. But it's very vintage and classic. If you look at the goals that he scored, I know one of them, of course, being a penalty kick, but cutting inside, left foot, finesse shot, back of the net. It's kind of like another everyday in the office. I'm looking forward to the Charlotte game as well because I don't know what really to expect with Charlotte. I mean, I've heard Matt go through a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I think we left off a couple days ago where he said they won't be as bad as Cincinnati. And that was the analysis that we had as a takeaway. But maybe they can do some overachieving. And for everyone now, it's a new season. You've got new belief. You've got hope. You've got dreams. You got ambition. Are you going to have the young talent going to deliver? Are the new players coming in going to deliver? Are they going to be bust? So that's kind of where we're at right now.
It's true. It is a big mystery. We are going to find out soon what Charlotte is going to look like in their inaugural MLS season. They are taking on DC United. That game at 6 p.m. Eastern. And we have a 15-member involved. David Goss, our guy Goss, is actually in DC right now for that match. He is at Audi Field. And he was able to catch up with DC United head coach Hernan Lozada in this AT&T 5G call to the field.
All right, Coach, let's start with this. First game of the season. It's a big moment. We've talked about this for months. What's your message to the group? What have you been saying all week? What do you say in the locker room before the game?
We are all pretty excited to start the season with the right foot in front of our fans, playing at Audi Field. That was one of our strong points in 2021. And, well, we are very excited. New season, new goals, new challenges, and hopefully we are ready for this.
What do you see in your group over the course of preseason maybe that we haven't gotten to see yet? What are you excited for everyone to get to see here today?
Well, you're going to find a pretty similar style of play than last year, always going for the win, especially when you play in front of all your fans. We know how important it is to entertain them, to give them that extra that give us the motivation to come back every single home game to support us. So we will look for the 3 points from minute one, and always with that winning mentality and winning culture that we want to build year after year.
An interesting challenge, a team that's never played before. How do you prepare for them? What's the focus with Charlotte?
the focus is basically on ourselves. Of course, we gave a few tips about Charlotte. There are a few players that we know that they were playing with us last year. Spanish coach with a possession-based style of play. But we focus on ourselves, especially at home. We don't want to adapt to any opponent, and let's just try to do our thing.
Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Great stuff from David Goss and Hernan Lozada. A little disappointed he is not wearing the bomber jacket. I have rated him very high in my preseason power rankings for MLS best dressed coach. And I've got to say, I'm a little disappointed with that look, but that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about this matchup because as Mike Labelle said, we really don't know what to expect with Charlotte. This is their inaugural MLS season. Hernan Lozada and DC United were really, really exciting to watch at points during 2021. And at one point, I thought that they could potentially make it to the playoffs, but I don't know. Calen Carr, what are your thoughts on this matchup and what we might see from both sides?
Well, DC got off to a pretty poor start last year in Lozada's first run with the team, and they had a ton of injuries, and I think there was a really difficult adjustment period. Now it's the second year, so you're expecting a lot more there. And Susannah, you and I just got back from Charlotte as well.
We
so
did.
It was wonderful to see you in person again.
It was awesome.
And we hung out with the fans. I mean, there's so much excitement leading to this expansion team, like all expansion teams. But I feel like Charlotte is going to sneak up on a lot of people. As far as the fan support alone is going to be crazy. I think they're going after Atlanta United's record. What was it, like 74,000?
74,000 and change, and they're going for 75,000.
Crazy.
For home opener.
Yeah. We went to a couple pubs with some fans. It was amazing. But I think now is the chance where we get to see, we saw the open practice, which was really more of just an experience to be able to like share that with the fans or build that excitement. But you want to see what this looks like on the field. And Miguel Angel Ramirez, I think, is a guy that's like, has a ton of experience abroad, but then came in here so far and now is saying, has had some comments saying, I don't know what this team is, or we need pieces, send help, SOS, like whatever.
SOS?
Something like that. But I think you see that from a lot of managers across MLS who at the end of the preseason want to sign in to come across the line. And I think they're going to have a little bit of trouble, but I think it's important how they start. So there'll be a lot of eyes on them tonight.
Lots of eyes. Mike Labelle, your thoughts on Charlotte FC and what we might see from them, because as Calen said, we've kind of seen the gamut of expansion teams. We've seen clubs like Atlanta, we've seen clubs like LAFC just come right out of the gates flying. But then we've also had experiences like FC Cincinnati. I hate to keep throwing them under the bus, but what do you anticipate from them? Is it going to be somewhere in the middle?
I think at best, we're talking about a team that I don't think they will, but at best, if you had a perfect season, somehow you inched your way into the playoffs. I don't see that happening, but I also agree with what Doyle had said earlier, where I don't think we're going to see another FC Cincinnati. We'll see what kind of leadership and also what can Christian Fuchs kind of bring to that team, because even from a positional standpoint, he's playing as an outside wing back. Do you want to push him maybe being more of a center back? Where is he going to have in terms of impact and influence? It's something that we should have mentioned, or I wanted to mention. We had the Ariolo assist that we were watching on VAR here. O'Brien taps it in. I was just waiting.
Wait, I missed that. What happened? We already had a goal?
This VAR situation, I don't understand.
No, the situation right now.
Why do we need to review this? It looks good to go. It's on site every day in a week.
We have so many screens up right now. And as we were talking, we've got Dallas taking on Toronto. They're hosting Toronto FC. And there is a goal. Paul Arriola, the big, how much was that signing?
$2 million.
$2 million, yeah, an allocation, right? Yeah.
It was a lot of cash. But presumably that seems to be paying off right now. A very good start for Dallas.
Look cozy, comfortable. Just another day in the office. Beautiful delivery. Winger to winger.
Calen, how do you feel about Dallas in 2022?
Well, you got to remember I'm a Houston guy, Susannah.
So
it's not really. You're not getting a fair.
But have you? But taking that sort of bias out of it, and you think about the moves that they've made in the off season. Is this a team that can contend?
I don't think they're expected to contend for MLS Cup or Supporters Shield this season, at least.
Playoffs?
Yeah, I think the playoffs, but they've kind of last year they really sort of took a nosedive, and I think they've moved on from so many players and so many quality players, losing Pepe and Tanner Tessman and guys in the past that have been really productive. I mean, it's almost hard to keep track of the number of guys that have come through there and gone on to play in Europe. And then they lose Hollingshead this year also, who is another quality player, I think one of the best outside backs in the league. So there's some question marks. I really do like the Areola signing. I think he's going to fit their system quite well, but it seems a little bit like they're going to have to have a really good season. But it feels like hovering right around that playoff line is kind of the mark for where I would expect them to be.
I'd like to ditto that. I'm co-signing that.
Co-sign?
Well.
You're a Dallas guy, are you?
I'm not a Dallas guy. I'm a Houston guy. I was there when Calen was playing. I was there watching from the stands.
I knew it was Texas.
I mean, that's like 2011, 2012, that era right there.
Yep.
Boom. I remember the head. You still have the headgear. Please tell me you have the headgear.
It's buried somewhere. I think we've bronzed it. It's
Yeah, it used to be in the long sleeves as well, and I was like, I don't know how this guy is wearing long sleeves in Houston. I was present for all of it. You know how hot it is?
That's how that's like the opposite, where when you see people playing in like the cold weather matches, and you're like, oh, that guy's a savage. Like he's going full like short sleeves. No, like he's just tough. I was going the opposite. You play mind games with the other team, Mike. You go long sleeves in Houston, 100 degrees. 100+% humidity.
He was. I'm telling you, Calen was the black Air Force Ones on the soccer pitch, because you see a long sleeve and it's 100 degrees outside and it's humid. I was like, I don't want to hang out with that guy. And then they put a headgear on him. I was like, definitely
that headgear. You know, one thing you do have to worry about though. This is something that's not talked about enough. Helmet tans. Very difficult. Something you got to deal with. It comes about halfway down the forehead. It's not a good look. It's tough to go to the grocery store with a head.
Hard to explain it, right?
It's
hard
very
to explain
hard
that.
to
explain.
Like,
what was he doing before this?
Yeah, I do this for work. It's part of my work outfit.
God. Here we go. Guys, just a reminder, get involved in that chat. Throw a question out to the people tuning in. We want to know, we talked about kind of what has stood out for us today. I want to know what player has stood out for you guys. Get in those chats and let us know, and we'll read some of your feedback coming up. Also, a reminder, we've got a bunch of games coming up in a couple minutes, 6 p.m. kickoffs on ESPN Plus. Austin taking on Cincinnati, Miami versus Chicago, which I am very excited about. San Jose Red Bulls, Mike. I mean, we've all a vested interest in these games. And, of course, DC taking on Charlotte in their first game, making history. This is a lot. There's a lot to take in. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed.
I was looking at the Red Bulls lineup, too. I'm happy to see Aaron Long back. I'm sure a lot of people are happy to see Aaron Long back. I think he's one of the best defenders from any of the Americans that we have available. Obviously, a lot of people agree with that. I think Token is ready to kind of grow into an expressive season. Kind of playing as a wing back. Sometimes he floats into the midfield. Even centrally, sometimes they're coming to space. Another one of our young players. I like Omir a lot. We're not going to see him in action, at least as a starter today. I was looking at the lineups. I think Christian Cáceres is prime to really take over in the midfield for us. And then it comes down to, and we'll see today with Klimala if he's going to be converting the opportunities and what we're looking at in terms of, being efficient. That's one of the most difficult roles as a striker, is not only the runs that you're making, the space that you're opening up, but you often don't get many opportunities to score. And everybody is very critical of what you do when you do get that one opportunity or that second chance or whatever it may be.
Solid feedback. All right, let's look at Miami, Chicago. Calen, I know this is a former team of yours, the Chicago Fire. I'm from Chicago.
Susannah.
Thank you very much. I have been feeling hopeful and optimistic, which is not a feeling that I'm used to associating with this team in the last few years. I'll just be 100% real right now.
Come on, Susannah. You're a Cubs fan by trade.
I know. Exactly. But I feel like there is reason for Chicago Fire fans to be excited this year. And I want to know if you share in my enthusiasm.
I do.
This point.
A lot. I think there are a lot of reasons. There's a number of them. I just saw actually on Twitter there was I think the team maybe just put out a post. Well, I saw the starting lineup a second ago. Yeah, but the team just put out a post kicking off the 25th season. So it's the 25th season of the Fire, so historic year. But it's a picture of Stoichkov, Frank Klopas, and CJ Brown. And CJ was a teammate of mine and a hero of mine when I played for the Fire and played for the club for 12 years. I think still leads the club in minutes played, matches started, all that. And just an absolute legend, got brought back into the staff. Of course, Ezra now leading the team.
Yes.
Really excited to see what he can do, put together. And then, yeah, let's not bury the lead. We're going to see Shaqiri tonight, right? This is what we've been waiting for. Massive signing, I think 30 years old, so still at a super good age. And I think is really going to kind of bring some quality, I think some flair and some personality to the team that has really been kind of lacking over the past several years. So, I'm excited
Calen,
for day one.
You like that Ezra's going to play him as a 10 instead of a winger because he spent most of his career as a winger.
Yeah, I think you have to put I don't say you have to put, but I think in this case, putting your player in the middle of the park, the guy that you want to have the most touches, influence on the game, whereas in the situations where we've seen him play out wide, he's been on teams where he's not necessarily asked to do everything. And I think he's going to be asked to play a much bigger role, a little bit different role than we've seen him in the past. But yeah, I remember watching him actually. That's when he was at Stoke City. I went over to do a game with Jeff Cameron playing there.
That was prime time Shaqiri.
Yeah, but he was amazing. But some of the responsibilities, as far as asking him to track back defensively,
not
always the best, and especially the way that Stoke team was playing. They happened to be playing Man City the day I went as well too, so they were doing a lot of chasing. But I think this will be a very different role for him. Obviously, a different situation, a different league, and I think putting him in the middle of the pitch and just getting him touches is the most important thing.
And the chat's talking about it too. They said the real Squidward's here saying Shaqiri's about the ball. And I'd love for him to have a season like that where he gets extremely active. And it's kind of a way of revamping a little bit because you talked about Stoke, then he went to Liverpool, of course, turned into more of a super sub or a spot starter every once in a while, then to Lyon, and then now, of course, here. But he's still in a range where he could be a very dominant player in many regards. I've always rated Shaqiri at every point of his career, and I feel like this is a new way to kind of revitalize.
Now, he is an explosive player. He has scored some just incredible goals. And I love that. The Chicago Fire finally feels like they're going for it. It finally feels like they're doing what they said they would do. And, credit to Mansueto and just kind of living up to the promises. But I really I love what they've done in the offseason. I love the appointment of Ezra as head coach. He seems like a guy that's really going to resonate with Chicago fans and the players and the culture there. It just feels like a good fit. So,
Sus, you used to go to Soldier Field for some games back in the day?
I sure did. It's funny. We used to get, I was in grade school and junior high. It was like, if you had perfect attendance, you can get tickets to Chicago Fire games. And before that, when I was really little, it was the Chicago Sting.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if y'all remember
Legendary.
that. I have a Sting t-shirt, which was super cool.
Did those tickets come with gloves? You definitely need gloves for those games. You're going to be so cold. I've made many mistakes going to some of these games.
Oh, man. I mean, you have not experienced a true Chicago sporting event if you have not frozen your butt off at Soldier Field. It was just, it gets bitter. It's right on the lake.
Jackets, the ones
it's right on the lake. In. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you so many layers. It's incredible. But yes, the answer is yes. I did frequent.
Good.
A few Fire matches. So yeah, this feels good.
You've got street cred.
Feels good.
We didn't talk about Miami at all either here. Just to throw it out there. We just overlooked it. Yedlin's coming back in. I'm interested.
Oh,
back
God,
to MLS.
Miami. I don't really know what to say about them. I'll be 100%.
They got Higgy.
It's it's not. I wish I could look in the camera and say I feel great about Miami and what they're going to put out on the field in 2022, but I just can't. I can't.
It's going to be a step forward, though, right?
Yes,
the last 2 years,
sure.
the last 2 years.
Yes.
I mean, David Beckham even came out and said it. The last 2 years were like basically a failure. Nothing went the way that they expected or they wanted, and they needed a clean slate. And it was a tough job that Chris Henderson had to tear it all down and try to build it back up. But he got it right last year, signing Gregory. He got another Brazilian D-mid this year. There's a couple of kids that they signed from a very young academy. They brought in a big center back who was on their USL team last year. So, if you're a Miami fan, you're not expecting to win trophies this year, but I think there actually will be forward progress. There will be young players who could be part of the core. And sometimes as a sports fan, that's what you have to root for.
Forward progress. I like this. Doyle, you've been I know.
You saw decades of this. Okay.
I did. I know. I'm so conditioned, but I'm also conditioned to you kind of being like a harbinger of doom for a lot of teams. And I feel like you have completely flipped the script on me the last couple days. There's been optimism about teams.
Yeah, we need to check in on you. Doyle, are you okay? What's going on?
What's going on?
I'm doing
What's
right.
happening?
No, even in the darkest night. No, I'm gonna mix my metaphors like Weavy here. Honestly, it's the same thing for Cincinnati, where it's Paxton Pomykal's back, and he's so good. Sorry, it's the same thing for Cincinnati, where it's been rebuild after rebuild, they're not going to be good this year, but there is going to be some forward progress. There is going to be some momentum. There's actually a vision, and once you have been in the pit of despair, so to speak, as a fan base, that's kind of all you want to see in year one, and coming back out of that.
You'll take it. No, that's good. That's really, really good perspective. Just a reminder, everybody, all of those 6 p.m. games kicking off now on ESPN Plus. So tune in. Also, the chat has been very, very heavily talking about the subject that's kind of taking over is Carlos Vela.
Yeah.
People really, really
just supporting their fantasy teams. Their fantasy teams have erupted in the chat. They're saying, I'm not losing this week.
I know.
I can't lose this week.
That's a good feeling, though, when you're first, the games have barely just started and you have a guy in your team that's just gone off.
Light Hattie. Come on.
My goodness. Well, he said something interesting. He was like, my contract's up in June, and I'm just going to kind of take it one day at a time. He was like, I'm not looking forward. But then we heard earlier this week that it's almost like a done deal that he is not going to be returning to LAFC. I mean, what would they have to do to keep him at this point, especially if he's playing, if he can keep this pace up? Calen, how can they entice him?
I don't think it's going to happen, honestly. I just think Vela seems like a guy who makes his own decisions, right? He doesn't seem easily swayed. Now, obviously you drop maybe a big bag on the table, but he's kind of already got that too. So it's not only about that, which is part of what makes him so enigmatic, but also so interesting, is that he's just a guy that seems to play for his own motivations or his own reasons. And when he is on, he's like no other player I've ever seen in MLS. It's just another level where it's like video game fun. And, so just even to see this day one makes me just I was already excited for the season, but you just remember that 2019 season.
I know.
And just watching, tuning in every weekend and being like, I am guaranteed to maybe see something I've never seen before, or just something.
I'm going to ask you guys this then, all right? And Calen, Mike, Suze, the floor is open. Can either Shaqiri or Insigne hit that level in MLS?
Ooh.
I'm ready to go.
I don't think so.
The answer is no. The answer is no for me. I think they could be very successful, and what we saw there was monumental, and I just don't think they're going to reach that. So no is the easy answer, I think, in that regard. I think their impact and influence can be very great, but I don't think we're going to see a better individual season than what we've seen with Carlos Vela if you're going to date back a couple of years.
It's also the way he plays.
Yeah.
Where it's, I think we'll see. I would put pretty good bet down on Shaqiri potentially winning goal of the year this year, just because he's gonna like pull up from wherever, or throw something over his head. Or
if they let Atlanta United fans vote, then he will not.
Yeah, I know.
No, I know.
He might change their mind. I don't know. No, that definitely will not happen. but I just the way that Vela plays, just how smooth he is, the different ways he can hurt you. A lot of these guys can hurt you in different ways. Oh, we got another goal here.
Who just scored? Yes.
Jesus
Pereira. I mean, this is, if you are a Dallas fan, this is exactly what you wanted to see right now.
And if you're a Toronto fan,
okay, so let's
that's tough.
Oh, that was a nice little.
Is that Areola involved?
Is that Areola again? Yeah. All right.
He nearly scored a goal as well. I know that we didn't talk about that, but he had a left-footed strike that whisked just ever so slightly wide.
He's feeling himself.
But I mean, we've seen this with Berhalter, where he's like to use Ferreira a little bit as like that 9 that drops a little bit underneath. Yep. And part of the real reason that system works, or the only way it works, is if you have dynamic wingers that can stretch the field and behind. And Areola certainly fits that bill. So being able to use that pace where you see Areola there, and then you see Ferreira kind of like ghosting in. That's something you probably see a lot of this year, where they play a little bit more direct and then have him drop underneath and then continue his run forward. So
could be effective.
Work to plan.
Doyle, talk to us about Paxton Pomykal, because I know this is a guy that you have been so high on for so long, and unfortunately we haven't really been able to see him play. Injuries have been rearing their ugly head with him, but how pumped are you to have this guy back?
I mean, I think he's, potentially one of the best midfielders in the league, potentially one of the best midfielders in the U.S. national team pool. He doesn't put up big stats, like he's not a big goals and assists guy, but like in terms of winning the ball and then progressing the ball, pass before the pass, which we actually saw on the first goal. Only goal now, because that goal did just get chalked off.
Did it?
Yeah,
Areola
offside.
Was a half step offside.
I
think, I just think he's a fantastic player. And you think back to that 2019 US U20 national team that made it to the World Cup quarterfinals, that team with, Serginho Dest and Chris Richards and so many great players. I thought Pomykal was the best player on that team.
Wow.
We just haven't gotten to see him play like that in MLS, first because of the injuries, and then because last year when he did finally get fit, they used him on the wing. Now, I had heard that they used him on the wing to sort of keep him out of the meat grinder of central midfield, but he said this preseason that no, it had nothing to do with that. It was just a tactical decision. And if that's the case, it was a very bad tactical decision. And the first 30 minutes, we're seeing why, because he's out there, he's dominating a midfield of Alejandro Pozuelo, who's a former MVP, Jonathan Osorio, who has been, one of the best players in World Cup qualifying, and Michael Bradley. So and Pomykal is by far the best player on the field so far. So I'm happy to see him back for FC Dallas fans and for U.S. national team fans.
Heck yes. Love it. We just saw a goal in Austin. Verde.
No way.
On the board at home. I need to find out who scored. I just saw this. Dominguez. I saw the celebration. I didn't actually see the goal. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
The Cincinnati experiment continues.
Okay.
I'm still getting used to this idea of Cincinnati and all orange too. I was like, I feel like that's something wrong about that. But
what is it? Yeah, it's not. It's not my favorite. It's certainly noticeable.
It's cool, but it's like that's the Dynamo's thing. That's our
Dynamo.
thing. Like,
yeah, I know.
It's also bold.
Chill.
Cincinnati's defensive record over the past few years. It's bold to dress your guys like orange cones, man.
He's back. Oh man.
There it is.
Calen, I don't even know it's your account or if it's a dummy account, but I see Calen Carr in the chat. I think it's a good question you asked the chat, if it's you or if
that's
it's
me.
Someone
That's me.
All right, I didn't know. All right. I think it's a good one.
What's your
you guys
thought?
think over under? I'm going to play over under with this. Let's go over and under for Shaqiri. 12 goals. Is that
over?
A fair over under?
I'm taking the over.
I'll hit the over.
I'll hit the over on that.
Chad, if
Oh,
you guys
show.
can we put a poll in there? Let's do a vote. I'm curious where the chat is. I guess it also helps that he's playing. If he's going to play more centrally as well, if he's going to be able to float.
Oh!
I think if he's out wide, it'd be much more difficult.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I saw another goal. I did not. I got excited. Has
Maybe
anyone
wasn't
been
a
watching
competitive
Charlotte?
number.
Has anyone been watching the Charlotte game? Have
I
we
have to
seen
admit, no.
I'm looking over right
Anything?
now. Well,
anything? Come on, guys.
well, I was
this
really
is history.
interested that Mackenzie Gaines got the start at the 9 position.
Okay.
He's a young American. I think he's like 20 years old, maybe about 20. Doyle, correct me if I'm wrong. 19, 20. He came
there.
He went to Germany to play, I think, in the 2nd division. He's from Austin, Texas, actually, and then came back midway through last season. He's 23. I'm just hearing. Okay, so he's 23. I was gonna say he's young, but that's still young. But
He's
now
still young.
MLS.
He's still young.
He's young. Oh, we got a breakaway. And,
Oh,
It's a little
There's
nervy.
too much happening. I got to keep my stories tight.
Nervy
But anyways,
moments, I
he
know.
he came back to Austin, had scored a really nice goal last year. He's got some nice tools, and I was in Charlotte when he got picked in the expansion draft. I thought it was a clever pick, but I was not expecting him to start from day one. I thought it'd be more of like a depth play, but he does have some more dynamic ability to stretch the field, which I think Charlotte needs, frankly. So on the road, I think that's partly some of the thought process. But Doyle, what's the deal with their DP striker? Where's he at right now?
So I think he only just was able to get back into the U.S. a couple of days ago. He was, working through paperwork and stuff like that. So, I mean, this is a big chance for Gaines. I don't think he will have the number 9 job for long, if he even is, playing primarily as number 9, because I know they have Titi Ortiz, who Ramirez has used as a false 9 before. They have Jordi Reyna, who's played as a kind of a 9 in this league before. So, but that's the thing. Miguel Angel Ramirez is, regarded in South America as a really high-level tactical coach. He's not afraid to try different things. And when you try a bunch of stuff, throw a bunch of stuff at the wall, it can open open an opportunity for a youngish player like Mackenzie Gaines.
Oh, Charlotte almost getting in there.
Hey!
Not quite.
That's got to be something.
Doyle's twin was just on. There he is. You watching Miami, Chicago, Higuain. The other day, Matt Doyle was wearing the fabulous pink Miami jersey, which I mean, really my God, they are so great. Thank you for finally doing that. But I mean, when somebody who pointed that out, who was the first person to say
it's
that
hard?
Doyle...
It's hard not to notice. It's the resemblance is uncanny.
Well, I never even thought of it until it was literally in my face. And
Susannah,
he was wearing the pink.
I say we send. I keep saying this. We need to send Doyle to Miami. Give him some nice sunglasses. We put him at the front. We'll see what happens. He goes to the front of the line at a nice club, South Beach. We get him a nice rental car.
I mean, this is how we reboot the movement, as far as I'm concerned. This is American soccer culture right here.
Somebody was like, we might need like a Gucci belt or something just to like put it on.
we're shifting the narrative now. Yeah, no, now he's moving to Miami. He's going to double check the chat before that was either saying that he's spending time in Birmingham, if you're going for like the Peaky Blinders look, or he moved deep into Brooklyn. And I was like, I don't know.
Peaky Blinders. Oh, you guys, the chat has a Keat3333 has a really good question in the chat on YouTube. Shaqiri over under Rui Diaz goals. So who's going to score?
Ooh.
I'll pick Rui Diaz.
I'm not sure I'm coming. Go ahead, yeah.
I like that question a lot.
I'll pick Rui Diaz. I have no other thoughts on it but that.
So will I. I would say, though, combined goals and assists, I would take Shaqiri in that bet, because I think he's the type that's going to be able to find the pass. We've seen him do that in the past, where he's going to score goals, but I don't know if he's going to be the kind of like, just even by the position or where they're placed on the field. He's going to, I think, Rui Diaz. And also, frankly, with the team that Seattle has set up, I think Rui Diaz would be set to kind of feast off.
He just posted on Instagram, though. He apparently suffered a little hammy injury. Leg was all
okay. So over
up.
Under goals this weekend.
I'm just saying.
We're going Shaqiri.
I'm just saying.
Well, I was going to be on the under, even on the 12 that I threw out earlier. All of you were on the overs, and I think Shaqiri will have maybe 15 plus contributions. Maybe he has like even a 10-7, 17 contributions, but I don't recall any season that he's had where he scored more than 10, 11, 12 goals at any point of his career.
Yeah, he's never.
That
never
hasn't
really
happened.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah. But I think that the Fire are absolutely going to ask him to do that. They're absolutely going to ask him to get in the box and be that type of finisher. And I don't think it's wrong to, because he does have that nose for those later arriving runs. And obviously his left foot is a pile driver.
Yeah. Also hard. It'll be easier to get on a penalty than at some of the clubs he's played at before. So.
True.
That's
true.
it. I mean, that's 100% true. He was just the teams that he was on were so stacked. It was hard for him to get significant minutes, and he could come on as a super sub and do incredible things.
I don't know if they put Stoke as stacked. I don't know if that's how people describe Stoke.
Okay, Stoke, not so much.
It's been a lot of ways that Stoke has been described, but stacked is not usually one of them. When they're doing,
I'll be honest, that was not the team.
team.
Was not the team I was considering when I made that comment. But thanks for that.
It's all good. No,
we've got a replay of that Austin goal because I missed it, so I would like to take a look at it. So we're going to show it to you right now. Okay, off the free kick. Here we go.
It's those orange jerseys.
It is the pylons. Now it's all I can think about.
It's surprising because I've worn orange jerseys for years and never thought about it.
Oh, it's poor defending. That's terrible. Right through his legs.
But that's why you stay awake at the back post, right? Like if you're a goal scorer, you make that run 100 times for the one time it squeaks through and you get that tap in.
I want to reference another comment I have here in the chat. There was a guy who said, as a Finn, this is Husai, as a Finn, I am so pumped that Robin Lod scored the first goal of the season. And I don't know if you guys watched that Philadelphia-Minnesota match, but that was actually a really, really fun match to watch. I thought Minnesota looked really good. I thought Emmanuel Reynoso looked as special as he has. He continues to be a really, really fun player to watch. But what, Calen, did you have time to tune into that? I'm curious to get your thoughts on.
Yeah, I did. I felt like Philly maybe left a little bit on the table.
That's what Jim Curtin said.
Okay. Yeah, where it felt like they had a lot of the pressure to really try and capitalize, and I think they're still missing a couple pieces. Carranza was there; he's their kind of their new guy. I know Doyle drafted in our extra time. Drafted him quite high actually in our striker draft that we did this week, which was fun. So yeah, I think just like kind of early season where you're not necessarily firing on all cylinders yet. But I thought the game was definitely dynamic and end-to-end and a good start to the year.
I'm still scarred from anything Minnesota. I know that was an away matchup, but just the fact that I went to Minnesota for the USA game and I dealt with that pain.
Oh, you did?
Just right when I hear Minnesota now, it's all it's bringing back to me. It's just it was unbearable. There was no jacket that could have saved me.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready. It was cold is an understatement. I'm talking beers are freezing in less than a minute.
Yeah, that's not even cold. That's like a different. I don't even know what the adjective is to use for that, but it's just. I mean, Minnesota winters just hit different. It's just.
I had hand warmers in my feet and the shoes. I was trying to learn all the tricks. I was asking people. I was like, "Hey, locals, help me out."
You have to.
What do we have to do here? What's the crossover?
Do we have another Austin goal? We sure do.
Oh, wow.
We sure do. Austin up 2-0 over Cincinnati.
Yeah, ring. He kind of shanks it. He hit him with the changeup.
Hey, never worked. It's the back of the net. What are we thinking of year two for Austin? Because I feel like they were one of those teams where they had it wasn't a terrible year one, but it wasn't great. It was just kind of like that was okay. I don't know. Like, do we feel like they're well positioned in 2022 to kind of, as Matt Doyle has kind of said, like take that sort of forward progress? Is there forward progress for Austin?
I think so. Like they had some obvious flaws with their roster build last year, and the lack of mobility in central midfield, and some not great central defenders. And I think they were pretty clear-eyed about addressing that. Oh, look at that.
Osorio.
They were pretty clear-eyed about addressing that. And let's take a look at this goal. Oh, that was really well done. Another one of those where you just keep your run going to the back post on the chance.
I got to see a replay. Okay, here we go.
Oh,
that's nice. Really nice.
Yeah, because it kind of bounces, right? It bounces up on him a little bit, right, as it comes, the deflection. So good to stay over that.
Oh, that's a good finish, though. Look at that. I like Osorio. I really rate him.
Yeah, I mean,
he's very underrated.
He's got a big year with national club and country.
To build off of what Doyle had to say with Austin, though, as well, I don't know that they're positioned to get into a playoff position, though, because I also think the Galaxy and LAFC will be moving into a playoff position. Therefore, you have some sort of trickle or exchange there. I'm just wondering who they're taking out in order to move in to that type of competitive role.
Nashville also switched to the
guys. Charlotte just scored their first MLS goal. Let's go. Let's watch this.
Oh, wow. It might be an own goal.
Is it an own goal?
Who cares? That's awesome.
Who gets credit for this? Let's see.
I mean, that's just a pinball.
I don't know. He really threw himself up there. Let's see. Oh.
I don't know. I don't know if it's an own goal. I think you get something on that.
I feel like that was like head and shoulder kind of.
Okay. All right. Part of history.
It is. It's historic.
Oh, I hope he's okay.
Oh, he's also feeling it. Oh, no. Oh, get up, son. Just a reminder, everyone, we've got David Goss on the ground at Audi Field. He is at this DC United Charlotte FC match, so we will check in with him at half and get his perspective on this match so far. And right now, Charlotte has the 1-0 lead over DC, but we've got an injury down on the field. Take another look at this.
It's hard to get a quick...
It is.
I've never gotten closer to my screen. I'm literally.
I know. I can't see.
I promise you, my eyes work, but that's what's happening right now. I'm doing my own little VAR check.
That's cool. All right, I'm going to throw out a question.
Confirm contact was made.
Contact was definitely made.
Some sort of contact was made.
Yeah, we got to give it to him. I say we give it to. Let's take a vote here. I know we have no control over this, but amongst the group, we can decide. We'll give that to him, right?
Absolutely.
Good.
He deserves that. They're looking at it. Well, going back to Austin conversation, I want to throw a question out to the chat. Let us know, everyone. Will Austin FC make the playoffs in 2022? Is there enough? The West is tough.
All right, here's the video review decision. What do we got here? Charlotte, DC, video review coming out. Does Charlotte keep the goal?
Give it to us.
No goal. Offside. Wow.
What?
Oh.
I don't know about that.
And we already gave it to him, too.
Now man. That's so deflating.
He took the knock for nothing.
Oh, come on. Why you got to be like that? Why you got to spoil our fun? Boo.
To answer your playoff question, though, Suze, it's like, all right, so we've got in the Western Conference, you have Colorado, Seattle. I'm just going off of last year. Sporting, Portland, Minnesota, Vancouver, Real Salt Lake. I believe, again, the Galaxy and LAFC will both slide into those positions. So, therefore, someone's got to rotate out. So, it's a matter of, do you think Austin can not only go above the Dynamo, FC Dallas, who've made changes now, San Jose, but they've got to take at least a couple of those places that from the before-mentioned teams. I could see some of those teams. I could see some dropping out, but I don't know if they have enough or not this year.
I know.
If anything, they're inching in. But that –
I'm with you.
Let's see what the chat thinks.
I'm seeing a couple.
Abner says Verde. He said yes. Austin will make the playoffs.
I think he's got a bias there. I think
a little bit. It's fine.
I would lean towards a no.
No.
I think it's going to be very difficult to slide in here based on what the clubs did that are above them, basically.
Akira, I like this. Akira said no, but they'll make real progress. Which, according to Matt Doyle, is sometimes all you can look for. And I like that. I think that. Ooh, I like this. Key 3333 says it'll come down to decision day for Austin, which, I mean, we know that decision day can always bring the drama. So that could be fun.
And Mortal Man in the chat says Charlotte in the playoffs greater than Austin in the playoffs, which is a really bold take. That guy might live in Charlotte. Yeah.
Hey, they almost scored. Hope springs eternal. Now is the time.
Oh, man. Honestly, I love it. Norman Crafty said, he says, I can't believe the rest had to be the fun police on Charlotte like that. I agree.
Very good.
Start it. Oh, God. So sad. So sad. Let's revisit Toronto, because this is a very interesting team to me right now. The new head coach, Bob Bradley. We've got two Bradleys, kind of like two coaches really on the field, because you have to think that Michael is sort of taking on that role as he's out there playing. But then the addition of Lorenzo Insigne, when he comes to MLS in July, I believe. I mean, he is a player that is he's at his prime. The guy just won the Euros with Italy. He's an incredibly talented, skillful player. How are we feeling about Toronto? Because it's not been good. It's not been good the last couple seasons, but they're a team that I'm sort of like, I cannot wait to watch them this year and see what happens. Calen, how do you feel?
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. I think partly they've got a nice blend of some youth and experience. They've got some guys coming through the academy, and Doyle's been talking to me a lot about the right back, right? Marshall Ruddy is his name?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, who's like super highly rated, and I think they've been able to do a really good job with that academy, and we've seen Bob Bradley in the past do well with young players, but then he's also got some really good vets to lean on. And I felt like when things went wrong with Toronto in the past, it was maybe a little bit too veteran reliant, and they seemed a little bit slow or sluggish at times. And in the, it's a long season. And so I think some of that bringing a little bit more youth into the team could really help them. And then it's just really about like, how do they balance? We've seen a lot of teams that have gone in the past and said, okay, we're going to go all youth movement for the most part, right? Like we've seen Dallas do that. I think a number of teams, Philadelphia plays a ton of young players. They do have some experienced guys as well, but trying to find that right balance, I think is going to be important for them. Yeah, looking this year to see, and then also just stylistically, how are they going to play? Because I think at times they can really get out and go, and then like I was saying before, they sometimes can sit on the ball a lot and feel like they're not very dynamic going end to end. So kind of how does Bob pick his team and how does he want them to play will be definitely interesting to see. If does it look kind of like we saw with LAFC, even though maybe they don't have the same type of weapons that they did at LAFC, or do they try and take a little bit more of a methodical approach?
Yeah, it's going to be really fun to watch. We have the Charlotte goal that was not to take a look at. So this is for all you guys watching. This was eventually called off. We thought Charlotte had made history with their first goal. Alas, VAR. Nuh-uh.
Yeah, you could see him drifting offside.
Just a bit.
Yeah, just offside.
Slightly.
No goal.
It's the right call.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That is
that angle right there. Yeah.
Also, I think if that question as well with Insigne coming much later in the season, is he going to mesh with the players they already have? Is he going to be able to just insert directly in, or is there going to be a period of kind of working that out from a chemistry and a fluidity side? I think, from a fandom, you want to see Pozuelo teaming up with Insigne, and that's just going to be smooth as ever. You also have to ask who's going to score a lot of their goals. I mean, if you're looking at last season, they didn't really have somebody that had 10 goals, 15 goals, that it wasn't part of the storytelling. So it's like someone has to step through and be that guy as well, especially when you have two creatives.
Guys, we have somebody from Indonesia watching right now on
Nice.
YouTube, which is so cool. Fans from Indonesia. Hi. Hello. Thank you. Welcome.
What time is it in Indonesia
We are
right now?
thrilled to have you. Yeah, tell us what time it is in
Yeah.
Indonesia.
What day is it? It might be I think it's a different day. I think it's a different time.
How
Everything.
you living? What's going on?
It's 6:30
Give
in
us
the
the
morning.
scoop.
6:36 in the morning, from what I can tell.
Wow. That is
Have
dedication.
your coffee,
Well,
some breakfast.
we appreciate you. We appreciate you. That's
Some meat
fantastic.
tech. Indonesian food is amazing. There
It
was
is.
an Indonesian food down the street from me when I lived in Berkeley. That was fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah.
We have a master of destruction. Nice name. Good handle, buddy. Says when Lorenzo Insigne comes, he's going to score a hat trick every game.
Every game. I like that.
I personally hope that comes to fruition. That would be incredible. I would love to watch that in MLS.
It seems like a credible source.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I always go to Master of Destruction for analysis like that.
I'm here for it. I love it. Master of destruction.
It sounds like a team name in FIFA that you're going up against in a match. Like, who are you playing next up? Like, I'm going up against Master of Destruction. Like, all right, good luck. It's like a class on grass name or something like that.
It is interesting though, right? Because like we've seen players come in mid-season and like just elevate an already good team. Think like Ladero, Rui Diaz, like mostly the Sounders guys, but then like even back to Robbie Keane, Thierry Henry, those guys came in mid-season. It took them a while to fit in. Didn't happen right away, and it's a good question, especially because like, look, I believe in good coaches in MLS, and Bob Bradley's a really, really good coach. So even without Insigne, I think this team is going to be playing good soccer. How quickly, it can work with him in the lineup is going to end up being one of the big stories I think that we'll all be talking about come summer.
Doyle, we've got a question from Huseli. Oh, this was our Finnish fan. Hello. Thank you. He asks, will Insigne be out of fuel after the European season?
It's a good question.
Like how? Yeah.
That is one of the things that, now that I think about it, a lot of the guys who have come in mid-season and done really well are guys who are playing in South America. Guys who came, have a full European season and then 3 weeks off, which is not enough, and then step right into MLS, like Thierry Henry, like, Robbie Keane a dozen years ago. Those are the guys who have tended to need a little more time to sort of get up to speed. So it's a really good question. I think it's something that Toronto's not going to be blind to it. They know the history of this league as well as any of us. So I think they'll probably be doing their prep to make sure that it's kind of a soft landing for him when he does come in.
Yeah. That's a really, really good point. Thank you for that. We also have, we've got Del Boy shouts from London. Hello. It's late there. It's late there. I love it. I hope you are celebrating. I hope you have a drink in hand, maybe a pint, a
It's not that
bevy.
bad. A little light midnight on a Saturday.
Yeah,
A little nightcap.
A little nightcap, checking out some MLS action. I like it. I like your style, Del Boy. Way to go. Oh, we got Egypt in the house. Hassan El Tabak. Shout out from Egypt.
Nice.
This is amazing. See, do you see what we're doing? We're bringing people together to watch a beautiful game. This is great. Yeah, you guys, if this is an international stream.
I got a buddy in Berkeley.
Tell us where you're from.
I got a Berkeley Dylan who just texted me. He's watching.
We got Berkeley.
We're on there.
Representing. Tell us where you're watching from. This is really cool. And tell us which game you are tuning into. And this is also a good time to remind everybody we are going off the air at 7:30 because we have a big game coming up on Fox at 7:30 p.m. The Portland Timbers hosting the reigning Supporter Shield champs, New England Revolution, baby. That is going to be so fun. And one of the things I'm looking forward to in 2022, you guys, is watching teams that have not played against each other face off for the first time in a couple of years. So this is going to be, we're seeing East Coast teams and West Coast teams finally playing each other. And it's going to be a good test, the travel involved, all of that. It's a big test for both of these teams. I feel like New England, we know that Portland is a hostile environment there. Timbers Army is no joke. And so that's going to be, I'm really excited to watch that one. Big Fox, 7:30. Tune in after this is all said and done.
Chicago just hit the post.
Mm-hmm. Who hit the post?
I was trying to see the replay. Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it Casper?
Yeah, I think it was Shabilko, and then the rebound almost fell to Shaqiri, but he was a step slow.
Dang it. We had Casper Shabilko on the call up. Shameless plug, like, subscribe. He was our first guest of 2022. And he is a really lovely human being. And I think I really liked that move for Chicago. I thought he's going to, there's a huge Polish community as well in Chicago. I don't know if you know, but it is very, very, the Poles are represented very well in the city of Chicago. And
Definitely.
So he said he's feeling right at home, which I love to hear.
That's cool. Yeah, I actually think it's like the second biggest Polish population outside of Poland.
Yep.
Are we Googling right now?
The biggest.
Oh, the biggest. Sorry, the biggest outside of Poland.
Did
Yeah,
you
that would be the second.
Did you just have that factoid in your head? That's
mean,
incredible. Hey, Edinburgh, Scotland. What's up? Alt history. That is fantastic. Thank you. We've got Norfolk, Virginia in the house. Washington. You guys, this is making my heart so happy.
Penalty
I
to
can
DC.
confirm, after Googling, Chicago is the largest Polish population outside of Poland.
Yeah.
But this article is from 2015, so it might not be up to date. But I saw the article or the statement that Calen also saw.
We'll fact check it with Master of Destruction in the comments section.
Yeah, there we go.
Ooh, do we have a potential penalty in DC Charlotte here,
I would be
guys?
surprised if this one isn't brought back.
Let's see.
It didn't look like much, huh?
No, it didn't. Like he didn't appear to be making his profile bigger. He was trying to like duck out of the way.
Hit us with another replay. Give us a different angle.
Uh-oh.
They're giving it. Looks like it.
Are they?
Looks like it.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Tough turn of events for Charlotte here.
I know. Oh, this is not fair.
So it looks like Michael Estrada is going to take it. He's a Ecuadorian international striker that DC just got this year.
Okay.
Starting over Ola Kamara, who had 19 goals last year. Imagine
Yeah.
scoring 19 goals.
Tough
and
to
you're no
lose your
longer a starter.
place. Yeah. Jeez.
How does that happen?
After today, maybe Colorado will come realize that they need a center forward, and
Yeah.
like that seems like an obvious deal to make for them.
Yeah. It's shocking to me that he's continually undervalued at places. It's like, and he ends up always near the top of the Golden Boot race.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Yeah, I was just going to follow up on that. Like, because that's true, but why do you think that is that they're not putting him on the same pedestal?
My guess is that it's because he's kind of a one-trick pony, and he's not like super Joseph Martinez elite at that one thing. But it's still kind of mind-boggling to me because he scored 15 or more goals 4 times in a year.
Yeah, you can just mark that down.
I would like he's a player I value. Goal DC, by the way.
Goal
DC. All right. They are up 1-0 in that game. Again, we are going to speak to David Goss, who is at this match. He is at Audi Field. We will check in with him at halftime. But right now, DC up 1-0. Okay, we got Stockholm, Sweden in the house. We've got Peculiar, Missouri. There's a place called Peculiar. How about that?
How strange.
Isn't that strange? So odd. Odd. Mauritius? We got Mauritius in the house? What?
Are you looking on
That
YouTube or
cool.
Twitch right
What's
now?
going on here?
I got both chats open. This is on
Okay.
YouTube.
Susanna is watching 5 games and monitoring
Simultaneously,
3 different
two chats. Yeah.
Sus, you really are the GOAT.
Listen, multitasking is my thing.
Sus, do you know where Mauritius is?
I do. It's that little island off of the coast of Africa, right?
Yeah.
I went on a date with a guy from Mauritius.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Wow.
say you went
Sorry.
on a date to Mauritius.
In
I was like,
Mauritius.
what
Oh,
kind of date is
please,
that?
That would've been a big flex
here's
of
the
a date.
thing. He was a lovely guy. We went on a few dates, and so I was kind of like hoping that things would progress because maybe I could like score a trip
Yeah,
to Mauritius. Never happened.
maybe he's in the Twitch chat, you know?
Yeah.
If that's you, if that's you on your second account,
my head
burner
was
account.
turned. My head was turned by somebody else, and
Okay.
that was that.
All right. It happens.
It happens, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Listen, all I do is break hearts. It's a problem that I have.
That's
Kidding.
awesome.
Do not.
That's why
Do
you're a
not.
Fire fan. It's karma.
Seriously.
Fire
God, it all
Cubs,
makes
yeah.
sense now.
Come on,
It
guys. The
all
Fire are
makes
doing all right.
sense.
This is the year. We're coming back. I've been trying to track all the games, which is difficult, but I saw the Fire hit the post, but now we have, I'm trying to see what's tracking in that game. Have you guys noticed anything?
Shaqiri has looked rusty.
Okay.
Oh boy. That's not what I want to see here. Dang it. Darn it.
Yeah.
The one I haven't been able to keep an eye on at all is Red Bulls and San Jose. I did see
Isn't that the game you wanted to watch the most?
It is the game I wanted to watch the most, but like I'll just watch the replay afterwards.
Okay.
My night doesn't end when the games end, Calen. Every weekend.
This is
it's
actually, you guys, this
24/7.
is a good reminder that you can join us later tonight for MLS After Dark, which
I'll be on that.
I am very excited for. That's going to be on Twitter Spaces, you guys. So check out MLS's Twitter account. I will be there. Matt Doyle will be there. Calen, are you going to be there?
I'm gonna be there. Yeah. I'm
Mike
down.
Labelle, are you? You can hang out with us. We're gonna drink some brown liquor and just kind of.
Oh, we get to drink on this one?
Heck yes.
Gosh, yes.
Okay.
I would not
Do it.
I would not have agreed to host this thing if that was not on the table. So
Wow.
Do we get supplied the alcohol? What are we getting?
I was gonna
What
say
are our
I gotta
options?
see what I have. Yeah. See what I can find. That sounds fun though.
it's going to
Here
be
we
fun.
go.
Well,
Here
no,
we
we're going to
go.
have a lot
Here
to
we
talk
go.
about. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, wait,
Let's
Mike, what just
finish.
happened? What did you
We're
just
looking
get
at the Red Bull
excited about?
game. Yeah.
I'm looking at the Red Bull game.
What happened?
Token just missed an
Oh,
opportunity. Went for,
wait,
like,
look
a
at his
little bit of a
hair.
trip.
Oh, you guys, I love this kid so much.
He's got so much flow.
I love him
Is
so
that
much.
the would you call that the Sonic the Hedgehog or a skunk?
Skunk. My initial
I think it's
thought
like a
was skunk.
skunky mullet.
Yeah.
My initial thought was skunk. So you guys, if you don't know John Tukin, he is a young player for the New York Red Bulls. We had him as a guest
Local
on
kid.
the call up. Local kid. Homegrown. He is just, he's got such a great personality, but his hair, he changes up his look all the time. You never know what you're going to get. He keeps you on your toes and I love him for it. But he reminds me of like one of those like classic, like 90s,
Mhm.
early
Old school
2000s, like
musician.
yeah,
I was
exactly.
gonna say even 80s. You know when they're wearing
Yes.
the tight jeans.
It's
And
just
you-
it's just a
yeah.
throwback,
I mean,
but
he's
he's
got
so
the flock
cool.
of seagulls hair, right? That's
He
what that looks
definitely,
like.
he's so cool. He's so cool.
Can we throw a picture on screen? I feel like people, if you're not seeing this, they don't know.
I know.
what-
We can see what we're looking
Someone hit
at
us with a token on the back end.
because it is
production.
something.
What's his Instagram? Does he have it on his Instagram?
He does.
Yeah,
he does.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
Check out his Instagram. It's great.
I see the chat to get an idea what's happening here. It's like a highlighted mullet. There was a point too before it was skunky that it was like full highlights.
He's had like an
Yeah.
entire, like the whole
Like from the
plethora of
roots through, you know, he had the whole thing going on.
I love it. I love his style. More of that, please.
Oof. Oof.
I need to know what the oofs are referring to.
It looks like there's a probing opportunity here in Dallas, Toronto.
Okay.
I love, you know how we were
That-
talking about the like optimism. I love that in the chat. Pat Daddy says FCC. He says FCC looking better despite going down early. It's like Cincinnati's down 2-0 to Austin in the opener.
That's precious.
Who
Bless
Austin
your heart.
couldn't buy a goal all last year and put 2 on him already, and he's like, we're looking better. We're on the right path. So
they're still riding that Bengals Super Bowl appearance high. That's what that is.
That's fantastic.
That's residuals.
Like that. We got to stay positive. I, for one, am very happy to see Ray Gaddis back in MLS.
Oh my gosh. Okay. He is one of the best human beings on the planet and a super talented player to boot. But that made me really, really happy. I talked to him this summer at All-Star and MLS All-Star, and he was kind of like an MLS ambassador at that point. And you could kind of tell, like, he hadn't really, like, he was really missing it.
Yeah.
He was really missing playing.
You can always tell some guys, like, I remember James
wasn't
Riley.
ready for it. Yeah.
He would play, like, men's league with us, but then he'd, like, put in the group chat here in New York. He'd be like, hey, I'm going to work on some, like, footwork drills this morning if anybody wants to come before work. And I was like, what?
Yo, that's serious commitment.
He's like, the same trainer that I worked with, my personal trainer, like, sent me some new exercises. And I was like, dude, what are we? I'm just trying to make it to the office. I'm trying to catch the subway.
Trying to catch no injuries. It's gotten a lot more simple here.
Yeah. But James actually made a comeback and played in, I think in Tacoma. He played indoor, but now he's doing great. But anyways, yeah, he probably still is training though. I bet you James is training. Some guys are just wired like that, and I bet
that sounds like something he'd do.
Ray is always super fit, so I can't imagine he's gonna have. It's tough to take a year off. I can't imagine that taking a year off from pro, but
he also told me all he was doing was eating Oreo cookies. Like he's like an Oreo cookie addict, and I was like, so maybe he. I don't know. He had to work off some Oreos. That's all I know. Because he said, basically, I've been spending my time eating Oreo cookies.
Wow.
So
I love that. That's like the thrill of retirement. Yeah.
That was, I know. Like that is how wholesome he is, though. He is just, he's also a pastor. So he's like an ordained minister as well. Just fun fact about Ray Gaddis. Guys, we're going to take a look right now at the penalty from that DC Charlotte match. Because we have that on video for you guys to look at. And this is how it went down. Ooh, hey.
Let's get the replay here.
Is that it?
That is tough.
That's real tough.
I don't know.
He's turning away.
What are you? I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think until I hear Charlie Davies and Andrew Wiebe.
I was just going to say. Replay. There you go.
That's a good instinct, Doyle. That's a good instinct. Yeah.
That was incredible. That was absolutely incredible. Great plug.
Doyle, there's a question here from one of our friends in the stream and on Twitch, Huselli, who says, why is Brenner not starting for Cincinnati? Which is a question that I actually asked you earlier today.
Yeah, and the answer is that he has been stuck in some sort of paperwork limbo for most of preseason. I'm not even sure he's back in the U.S. yet.
Interesting.
But as soon as he comes back and is up to fitness, he's going to start. So I wouldn't fret about it too much.
Don't look too much into it, is what you're saying. Guys, Austin scored another goal. It is 3-0.
If I was a Cincy fan, I would be more concerned about
Pat Daddy.
Yeah, I would be more concerned about the decision not to draft Kip Keller in the Super Draft, who's a very good center back who's actually starting for Austin in this
starting.
one.
He is starting. We rarely see that, people.
Cincinnati could have taken him with that second overall pick. They went in a different direction. Obviously, we're talking about a small sample size here, but I don't get it. And this first half is not a ringing endorsement of the center backs that Cincinnati already had on hand. That's it. There's the doom for you. Sorry.
Thank you, Doyle. He's back. Doyle's back, everyone.
I like Keller.
In case you were worried.
He's the St. Louis. He played for St. Louis, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
There was a ton of guys in this draft this year from St. Louis. It was like that program is just crushing. Let's see.
Oh, there you go. Pat Daddy's back in the chat. He's still believing. He's still believing.
He's holding
I
on.
respect it.
Pat Dad. Is it Pat Daddy, Mike? Is that who we're?
It's another FIFA name. What you want me to say? Or a social media name at Pat Daddy somewhere. Like, I mean, come on. And and the daddy's like 1D short as well, so he made it cool. So it's, Pat Daddy, just keeping it simple.
I like it. It's a little style.
That's cool.
Mike, how are you?
We just got an update from the chat as well. James Riley coaches up here near Seattle. I got to coach against him this year, and he was super cool. Shared his video footage with me. So look at that.
Look at that little nugget. We're all connected here.
Love it.
Beautiful thing. Mike Labelle, have you been paying attention to this Red Bulls?
Yeah, I can
San
get you the
Jose.
update.
What's going on there?
There's been two good chances from New York Red Bulls in the game. Not a lot coming from San Jose. Overall, though, it hasn't been an offensive flourish, but there's a lot of space to work with. Speaking of this, almost on cue. Come on, just missed another opportunity. But
Marcinkowski, nice save there.
you could definitely argue that we'll be up a goal. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
I feel like we've had some quality good chances, better than half chances, so to speak.
All right. We'll take it.
Mike, do you go back to the old Metro Stars days?
Yeah, I have a jersey downstairs, actually.
Yeah,
I picked up one when I was in Minnesota freezing my tail off. They have a Talisman. Are you familiar with the Talisman folks? I never got a chance. I've never been to Minnesota before that
You
trip.
didn't go see them when you were?
Yeah, I went to go see them,
Okay,
and
good.
then they were like, can we give you some clothes because you're going to die at this game. It's going to be a problem for you. You're
was
not
very nice
prepared,
of them.
brother. Yeah, they were like, do you have fingerless gloves on right now? They're like, that's not going to be a good look at all. Plus, and also don't wear those. You look like a Home Alone burglar. And I was like, all right, fair. Like, I came here. I'm getting roasted. I'm trying to shop for new stuff.
Hey, speaking of shirts, this is great. Don Vito, Cassiopeiro. Hello, sir. He is in the YouTube chat. He says, Susannah, do you have enough space for all the football shirts you get given? Every time I see your post on Insta, you have a new football shirt. And that is true,
actually.
I will tell you, Don Vito, that I have been the lucky recipient of many a football kit. Right now I am rocking the brand new New England Revolution kit for 2022. But this one is my favorite that I was sent this year. I had it on hand.
What do you got?
We're on the board. By the way.
So
Your Rebels
RSL sent me the new kit, which I love. Check out
Nice.
the nice. But then on the back, the call up, which is the
Wow.
name of the podcast that I co-host with Jillian Sakovitz, and they just went above and beyond. Call up 22. We love it. Thank you, RSL. Mwah. This
Goals.
So yeah, I'm running out of room. My closet space is incredibly compromised at this point. These are bad problems to have. I know.
Another goal.
Get out my
Yeah, we got multiple updates here.
Violent.
Rebels is on the board. DC doubles up.
DC. Oh my goodness. Wait, who scored for the Red Bulls?
Klamala on not a tap in, but more of a poacher's finish. I
Okay.
don't think he had the cleanest of connections either, but it slipped in on the near post.
All right.
Right spot to be in.
Yeah. Oh,
We'll take it.
and the DC goal's a deflection.
Oh, what do we have going on in Dallas, Toronto too? We've got a free kick right now. What's happening? Yep.
Free kick on the edge of the box.
Estrada second for DC.
Oh boy. Oh. Well, okay. That could have been a goal. Oh man. Okay, so Charlotte, it started out so well. It looked so promising for them, and then the goal was called back, and now DC have taken a 2-0 lead at home. So, hey, welcome to MLS, Charlotte. It's going to get better. I promise.
Is it?
Is it though? God, Doyle, here he is. I told he's back. Now he really is back. I knew it. It was short-lived.
It doesn't look like it's gonna get better soon.
Oh my God. We're trying to keep people excited. It's only the first game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of soccer left. There's
Things
a lot
could
of
get
soccer
better.
left.
Things could definitely get better.
Soccer left. More pessimism, Doyle. That's from Brett LaFoon.
I'm going to get some optimism then. I reckon Klamala's on for a good season this time around.
All
Last
right.
season was good, But he had to split a lot of minutes with Fabio, and they put up almost identical numbers between the split minutes. And I think that he's going to get more playing time and not have that situation this year. And I see him as a double-digit goal scorer. I mean, he wasn't far off. I think he had 8 goals last year. But he also had like 6 or 7 assists, so contribution-wise was right there.
Oh,
I can't believe they just caught the picture right there. Sorry, the Dallas game, there was almost a tap in, and
yeah. I was watching the same thing. I was like, "Oh, open that!" Yeah. Oh,
hey, speaking of pictures, producer Anders, I think we have we've got a little
token,
a side by side.
Do we?
Of this was we've seen 2 versions of Matt Doyle tonight. We've seen the happy-go-lucky.
Oh, wow.
But this is his doppelganger.
This is what I'm saying.
You look like the more optimistic version this time around. Look, he was happier. Look how angry Higuain is.
I think the pink elevated your mood.
He's the long-lost Higuain brother. It's like he's been separated at birth.
We got it.
It's uncanny.
And we got to do it with David Goss and Pipa Higuain at some point. Because, the resemblance is uncanny.
I'm telling you.
This is closer than I thought it was. I didn't realize it was so 1-to-1.
It really is.
You're there. You're right. Put on some sunglasses. Let's go to a club.
Something.
Throw the hat back on. I believe in this. Pull up in a sports car. The Miami Vision. We should make this content.
Doyle, you could walk up to any yacht in Miami. They're gonna welcome you right in, man. You're good. Take me with you too, please. Sounds nice.
Yeah, we should be there to document this experience.
Exactly.
I agree. That's what Calen's a storyteller. This man has narratives, right? You have to bring him to tell this story.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sure, like for every Higuain needs at least one person in their entourage, right? I feel like that could be me.
The Untold Truth by Calen for Higuain Doyle.
That was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. Thank you to our lovely behind the scenes staff for putting that together. That was absolutely absolutely tremendous. Let's see, what else do we have here in the chat? Oh, guys, I have a treat for everybody. We got a real halftime treat because, as I said before, we've got a 15 member, and that is one David Goss, who is at Audi Field for this DC United Charlotte FC match. We are going to bring him in right now. First of all, David Goss, you look very sharp. I love this jacket. You look very stylish, so well done. Look very put together. Tell us about your first half impressions, because boy, did it think like it was going to start out so well for Charlotte, and then the tables have turned. How is it on your end?
First of all, thank you. I'm sporting Adidas. I don't know if you've heard of them. This is their latest jacket, and it's freezing, so it's been really useful so far today. As you said, so the Charlotte fans, it's about 300 to 400 fans that have come to this game. A lot of them are staying in my hotel. What a coincidence. And they are all sitting in this section, which is where Titi Ortiz potentially scored that goal. So he scored right there, came behind where I'm standing, started celebrating, and these fans went nuts. It was like the perfect moment for an expansion team. And then, of course, VAR came in. Calen, it wasn't like that in your day. It used to be better. No VAR. But there still seems to be a ton of energy. The last few corner kicks that came in that first half, the Charlotte fans started chanting Charlotte FC, sort of countering the DC fans. So it's been a really good vibe. There's a ton of energy, I think, to what Charlotte's doing. It kind of feels like more energy than precision, and hoping that all that energy sort of overtakes the maybe lack of familiarity in the team and what's going on. But I think they're
David, let me ask you this. Are you pretty excited? Because I know you're a big Michael Estrada guy.
Huge. And as I said, he'd be the Golden Boot winner. I turned to Charlie Boehm in the press box when he scored, and I said, penalties count when Michael Estrada scores. They just don't count for Ola Kamara. It's a new day. It's a new era.
Goss, one of the things that Calen and I were down in Charlotte a couple weeks ago, kind of getting a chance to get to know some of the supporters groups and the culture, and it seems like, I mean, and it sounds like this is very true from your perspective. They have a hunger in that city for the sport, for this team. What do you think it's going to be like when they take the field their own home? Because it seems like they're very, very well represented in DC right now, but when they're actually at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, hopefully 75,000 people, what do you think that's going to be like?
I bought 3 of those tickets, Susanna. I've done my part for the good of American soccer. I'm going to be sitting in the upper deck, the cheapest ticket I could find, because I wanted the true, genuine experience. Take that, Andrew Weeby. I am a man of the people. I think it's going to be pretty special. I actually talked to the president of Tepper Sports earlier before the game, Nick Kelly, and he's really excited. They're not telling me exactly, but they're saying that the game day experience is going to be unique. It's going to be special. It's going to be unique to MLS. It's going to be unique to the world, and so they're really excited for what that'll look like. And I don't know, have you guys ever been in a setting of 75,000 people that wasn't fun? On a day of drinking and hanging out and watching sports? I think it's going to be pretty special, and I think that's sort of where you come back with the team of be competitive, just look at this group. You don't need to blow teams out. You don't need to be, what's a good expansion team? I can't think of one right now off the top of my head. I guess maybe the Portland Timbers. You don't need to be a team like that. But you just need to be in games and be competitive. And even think of Atlanta year one in those first early games. It was kind of a struggle to score goals at times, but the crowd's into it. You take a 1-0 lead, and that's what everyone's sort of waiting for. And it was fun. The first couple that I met that were Charlotte fans up here in D.C., who are actually from Long Island originally. Shout out to Long Island. I don't know, I'm shouting out myself now. They were saying, we just didn't want to wait a week. They're like, we got season tickets, why wait? And this is a 7-hour drive. It's an easy flight. And so I think that was the idea for a lot of fans. And, if this is 0.01% of the fans that'll be in the building next week, and the city that cares about this sport genuinely, it's not just a novelty. It's soccer history and soccer culture, as you and Calen have, learned and seen over the last few weeks. I think it's going to be pretty special.
Yeah, we can't wait. It was such a fun trip, and I was just so impressed with the passion that we saw down there. We had a chance to Calen actually spoke to Miguel Angel Ramirez, who, the guy is incredible, right? Like, he's got like his PhD. Yeah. I mean, he's so studious. He has such a cerebral approach to the game. But one of the things he said was that his hope for year one was that this is he wasn't so much as concerned about results on the pitch as he was about sort of creating an identity about this team that they can then carry on into the future. I know we've only seen one half, and we've seen 45 minutes of soccer from Charlotte FC. But what do you think, if you had to kind of sum it up, like, what do you think this team is going to be? What is their style of play? What is their identity going to be this year?
I think it's going to be a team that's better than the sum of their parts. And you look at them in this first half, and you see players. I mean, Jordy Rain has been in this league for a while. Mackenzie Gaines, a young player, but you see confidence in what they're doing, belief that they can create opportunities, taking risks in their passing. Everything behind the ball has been Miguel Angel Ramirez just going like this, just trying to keep things compact. And I think the point of this team is going to be that as a unit, there's belief that they can fit his soccer philosophy, his soccer profile, and get results no matter who's on the field. I mean, you look at the team here today, and even in the roster that they have a designated player center forward that's not here with them. They have other pieces in central midfield that are not available, center backs as well. And yeah, I think they're still feeling like they're going toe-to-toe with DC United. I think that's sort of the idea of what they believe they can put together. Your hope would be something similar to even Austin last year, where then you get a Jerisi at some point in the year. But no matter what, you're bringing that player into an identity and a group that understands itself, as you mentioned. And I think that's safe to expect. And I think you're starting to see it already. Are they going to win this game? I don't know. They're down 2-0 at halftime. That's probably not a great start. But I think you see a team that understands who they are and understands what they put out there for the first 45 minutes.
He is a realist, but he likes to keep it positive. That is why we love David Goss. Enjoy the second half, and we'll check in with you maybe during the game, perhaps. We'll see.
And I got to say this. I am more positive on DC United, not because of what I just saw, but because the fans here. Pre-game, I went out to the supporters section, tailgate, chatted with some fans, been around. They have belief in this team. Not that they're saying they're MLS Cup favorites, but I think there's a lot of belief that Hernan Losada has a pulse on this group and has a group that wants to play for each other. So I think I'm more positive on DC than I was before I came down here, because I think the supporters who have been around this club for a while, who have seen the ups and downs over the last few years, they feel like this is still in the direction on the way up.
Love it. Great stuff. David Goss, thank you so much. Enjoy the second half. That was our AT&T 5G call to the field. Guys, what do you think about his assessment of Charlotte?
Well, I'm going to take some issue with Goss offline about this, talking about me not liking video review. I should have a couple more goals that were taken away from me. Video review would have helped me out.
Here we go. Oh, boy.
I'm not going to go there.
I think he was cold. The first takeaway I had there.
He did look cold. He did look cold.
That's why I think he was so animated, is because he was actually cold and he's just
moving.
warming himself up. And I also feel that first half, if you didn't see the DC United Charlotte, if you haven't seen any of the first half, it was really even, actually. I think it's super unfortunate they're down 2 goals. The penalty kick is very debatable. I mean, we can go back and forth. I don't think we all agree between our foursome on that penalty kick decision. And the other goal was kind of one of those freak deflections. It's a long-distance shot. It shoots off the defender's back, and of course, the goalkeeper's not in a great position, but you could do the same thing 50 times and you're not going to get a similar result.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's 2-0 is probably a little bit flattering for DC in the way the game has gone so far, where you're offside by just a hair, and then I think kind of unlucky, controversial, whatever you want to say.
No, you are unlucky. Come on. The deflection goal, you got to say, is at least unlucky.
Yeah, that one's unlucky, but then also the penalty.
Even the penalty. He's pulling out of it. He's trying to get away from it.
So I think those margins are slim in MLS, and that's a hard lesson to learn for a new team. But I do think this second half is very important for them. As a new team that is like searching for identity, searching for some confidence and a little bit of belief, not ending your first, coming out in the second half, whether they win or lose, and competing and making sure that they keep things tight, try and make a game of this, see if they can get back in the match, I think will be really important for them. Not only for today, but also leading back to the home opener, where you don't want to go back into that with a crisis of confidence, or you're back against the wall. You want to come back and say, we gave ourselves some momentum in the second half. So I think the second half will be really important for them.
All right, we shall see soon. We've got Dallas hosting Toronto. That game, the second half, kicked off a few minutes ago. What are our initial impressions of? I have to say, I'm impressed with Dallas so far. I think they've been a pleasant. I don't want to say surprise, but
let's talk about it. Let's talk about these games. We got Cincinnati. Looks like Cincinnati.
Well,
I'm going to take Doyle's words.
I was trying to avoid that one.
No, I'm just giving the recap.
Well,
You're just tuning in. You missed some of the matches. All right. Miami, Chicago. Chicago's had a lot of chances. They hit the post. They haven't really been able to convert, but they're making opportunities. San Jose and the New York Red Bulls. I felt like the New York Red Bulls were probing. I was happy that they, of course, from a biased view, that they were able to get a goal in the 45th minute.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily a perfect finish, but it slips in on the near post. I'm happy about it. Again, from a very 1v1 perspective. The Dallas-Toronto game has been pretty entertaining, and both of the teams have had chances for this to be going in a different direction. I mean, we talking about the VAR. And then DC, we just talked about the United in the Charlotte matchup, where I think Charlotte's pretty hard felt here in terms of the actual being down 2 goals. But I agree with Calen that they need to show that they have the grit and the fortitude to really send a message, especially when you're going to your home opener, saying that we're a team to be reckoned with, and that we're not going to be someone that you can knock over easily. And it does make a difference, even this early in the season, where you're really setting a certain tone and a certain belief amongst the club.
That's very good assessment, Mike Labelle. We've got a question. Boom. We have a question in the Twitch chat, which I really like. Are the Crew going to host a playoff game in 2022? Now, they had a resounding 4-0 win over Vancouver today, which that was I don't know. I don't think I was expecting that result. I thought they would probably win that game, but 4 goals is they should be feeling pretty good. Is it going to be a bounce back season for them? Matt Doyle, the crew? What do we think?
Well, I mean, the Caleb Porter corollary is in effect, right? He makes the playoffs one year, and then he misses the next year, and then he makes the playoffs the next year. And last year they missed the playoffs, so that means they are definitely a playoff team. Whether or not they host, I still don't like. I mean, this is a very small sample size, and damn, Toronto should have had a second goal right there.
Yeah, that should be
Look, Columbus got Artur back. Artur's really, really good. He's the type of guy who elevates the entire team with his energy. He's pretty skillful too. They missed him a lot last year. It wouldn't shock me at all if they pushed their way into the 3 or 4 seed. But I need a larger sample size before I can, totally go back on my preseason prediction.
I think
I'd like to second that. I think hosting it is the big key to that. Making the playoffs is one thing.
Yeah.
I have a little more belief in. But hosting a playoff game, I think, is maybe slightly ambitious. And as Doyle was saying, as a man that does this on a regular basis, he doesn't want to go out there too early. Especially in that game had a red card as well, which if you didn't see it, it's worth referencing, of course.
Reminder for everybody, we only have 15 minutes left in our little watch-along show, guys. What? This is going by fast. I know, because at 7:30 p.m. we have a great one on Fox. That is the Portland Timbers hosting the New England Revolution. They are the 2021 Supporter Shield winners, and these are the MLS Cup runner-ups. So this is going to be a good one. Real good one. That is on Fox, 7:30 p.m. So after you are done here, make sure you it on there. And
how do they go, Susannah?
After you're done here, turn it on there.
Yeah, I got you. I was following.
Get it?
Yeah,
got it.
But Susan, I think that kind of goes back to the question again. Is like, if Columbus is going to host a playoff game, right? That means they have to be in the top 4. And if you go just through the potential teams, you just mentioned New England going to be on Fox. You'd expect them to be near the top. New York City, defending champions. Philadelphia drew today, but you think with the quality and where they've been in the table consistently over the years, they're going to be around that top 3 most likely, right? And you go another step. You go down and you say, okay, that's where it starts. That to me feels like more the clear top 3. I got to reference Doyle's tiers. His tier column, which you should go.
That was a great column. Great column, by the way.
Thank you, guys.
Red Bulls always make the playoffs, so you got to put them in.
Doyle, pick it up from here. Who else is hovering around that 4 spot?
So I really think it there's a consensus that the top 4 teams in the East going into the season are New England, NYCFC, Philly, and Atlanta in some order. Okay. But it's like the Crew do have enough talent to push in there. The thing with Columbus, though, is like they don't have a ton of depth, and they're really made more for the postseason or tournament play than maybe the grind of the regular season, which is why I think people kind of doubt that they will be the type of team that could host a playoff game this year.
But a team that could get in even as a 6th seed and go all the way to MLS Cup and
just
win
go
it.
off.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Also, we got a question from Don Star. Were you surprised with the result from Minnesota United versus the Philadelphia Union game?
I was not surprised.
Where you want to send it, but
I was not surprised. No, I thought that was a very a pretty fair result for the way that game was played. I think that Jim Curtin said at the end of the game that Philadelphia kind of left a lot on the table. He wasn't overly pleased. I thought Minnesota was they looked really good. There's a couple guys, Reynoso, Francopane looked really good for them. But I thought Philadelphia did well. It was good to see Corey Burke get that goal. They did well to stay in. So I don't know. I wasn't really surprised with that.
I think they're
result,
2 good teams,
I guess.
right?
Yeah.
And like anytime Reynoso's on the field and feeling it, then Minnesota's got a real good chance. And he was feeling it for the first 30 minutes or so. But those those are two pretty high upside playoff teams, I think.
Another good chance by your Red Bulls, Mike.
Yeah, I really rate Christian Cáceres. I think that he's a fantastic midfielder, kind of box to box in many regards. Gets forwards naturally really well. Great takedown there on his weak foot, just drives it a little bit wide of the post. But he's another guy that I always expect to get at least 5 goals in a season.
Yeah, solid.
We had a near penalty in that Miami-Chicago game that was apparently not ruled, the penalty. But
you ever think it's
Miami
weird,
was
like
down
seeing
the
a guy?
box.
They just flashed to Shaqiri walking in a fire suit. It just still kind of takes a little bit to get used to. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah,
I still haven't gotten used to PSG and Messi or Messi and
Yeah,
PSG.
that's a strange one too.
Oh,
definitely.
that's God.
Yeah.
That is very odd.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I remember I was talking about this the other day, but about what's the strangest sightings you've seen on an MLS field? I remember walking off the pitch in Frisco my second year, and Denilson, the Brazilian, was walking off at halftime with me, and I just remember watching him with Brazil at the 2002 World Cup. In 98? Yeah, it was 98, doing all the step overs. And then I was watching him walk off. I think he was only like 28 at the time. And I was walking at halftime, and I was like, man, this is wild. What's going on here? But he was one of my favorites. I almost, like, I've never thought to necessarily ask for a jersey, definitely in game or at halftime, but I almost wanted to ask Denilson.
Amazing, Calen.
Yeah. Just want to be honest.
Hey, Doyle, I got a question for you coming from our Twitch chat. You ready for this one? This is from Real Squidward 1. Again, these handles. Mwah, just tremendous. He wants to know your early thoughts on Carranza.
He worked hard. Yeah, he looked like he was playing in his first game of the season and in his first game with a new team. It wasn't a bad performance, but it wasn't great. But like, you know, if you're Philly, that's kind of part of the deal, right? It's not like you're getting a guy who scored 15 goals in each of the last 2 years. You're getting a project. So it's the union. They develop players. They do a really good job of that, whether they're homegrowns or imports. So I've still got a lot of Carranza stock. I expect him to be pretty good this year.
Didn't you draft him?
Yeah, I took him in the Golden Boot draft. Yeah. We did that on extra time. It was it 4 of us or 5 of us, Calen? Was Charlie part of that? No, I don't think Charlie was.
No, he didn't get it. No, he wasn't in.
Well, the first 3 were Rui Diaz, Joseph, and Chicharito, right? So I picked 4th because I won last year.
Yeah.
The point of this draft was to just collect as many goals as you possibly can. And Vela fell to me at 4th, and then as it'll take Tati Castellanos. But then by the time it got back to me, had to reach a little bit to get some more goal scorers.
Oh, this is another good one. I like this question. This is Mortal Man 1085. Hello. Is Atlanta the best attack in?
Oh, what a shank!
Atlanta best attack in the league, Calen?
I don't think so. I would go LAFC. And I know that, today was an example, but they brought Arango off the bench today, right? So
yeah, that's wild.
We haven't even seen him, Arango, and Brian Fernandez all together. So when you see that attacking trio together, and then I think that midfield 3, I really like what they've done, getting some pieces with Cifuentes, Acosta. They played Ilie today. You'd think Latif Blessing would be a part of that mix as well. So I really like some of the pieces that they have. But then, the question mark has been, I think, still deciding how great Atlanta is going to be is what's up with Joseph. Are we going to see that kind of bounce back the way we saw Vela today? And you just see like, wow, it's just a snap back to normal? Or is it going to be a little bit more of like here and there? We see flashes of it coming back, but not necessarily in full measure. So I would give the edge to LAFC right now as far as the most dynamic and dangerous attack in MLS, but I don't like to bet against Joseph Martinez just as like a rule of thumb. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him lighting up the league as well. And how fun would it be to see those two chasing each other again for goals?
Right. Yeah.
Calen, I got a question.
Yeah.
that we're talking about Martinez a little bit, it makes me think of his penalty kick approach play, shall we say. And in the last 5 years, we've seen this ridiculous stutter has really become super, super popular. In your era of playing, I don't want to age you, especially with how young you look, but let's go back a decade.
Okay.
It was not nearly as popular at that time period. How do you feel about this progression or maybe even a regression? Some of them were pretty ridiculous.
What we saw today, even on DC, Estrada took his time. He took it pretty slow, right? He kind of strolled up to the mark. There was one guy I did play with in Chicago, Andy Herron, Costa Rican international, who basically walked to the spot. And so that was a bit different. And then Cuauhtemoc Blanco ran from like half field. So good. Like almost the exact opposite, which was just funny because I feel like that was like the longest run Blanco ever made in his career. But but yeah, I don't know. I think like it's just a matter of that. I think part of the reason why it works is we've become so restrictive of goalkeeper movement. And so goalkeepers are not allowed to step in front of the line or really are just kind of pinned back and have to really, it's already hard enough on goalkeepers. I think we've made it a lot harder, especially with video review, to kind of pin them to that line. So the fact that goalkeepers aren't allowed to move and we're really legislating that, but then we're allowing strikers. I'm not one to step against strikers, but it feels kind of harsh that strikers can do all kinds of the craziest antics leading up to like draw a goalkeeper off the line or to get them to move or flinch. So I think it's been kind of like, I don't know what the percentages are. I haven't broken down the math, but I would say like, I do feel a little bit that it's gone a little too far as letting guys do all kinds of run-ups and then holding back goalkeepers. So I think I already have it tough.
All right.
Like the Jorginho or even the Neymars, like some of these have gotten where the point where they are nearly stationary by the time they're taking the final stride, if you want to even say that, or the making a connection with the ball.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we only have like 2 minutes left of this stream. So I just want to remind everybody that after this is over, head on over to Fox at 7:30 p.m. Eastern because Portland Timbers are hosting the New England Revolution. So you're definitely going to want to tune into that match before we say farewell for the evening. Just want to get
before MLS After Dark.
Your biggest yes. Before
okay.
MLS After Dark is later on Twitter Spaces. Thank you for the reminder, Calen Carr. Good job. Your sort of biggest takeaway so far from the opening day of the 27th MLS season. Mike Labelle, we'll start with you.
Are you going to start with me?
Yeah.
Okay, you're putting me on the spot here. I think the loudest at the moment takeaway is probably going to be the Carlos Vela being completely back. If there was any question that he wasn't back, here you go. It just looked like another day in the office. It was goals that we've seen him score time and time again, especially, the third goal where you just step in, you're on your left foot, open up your body across. It's just a typical goal that we've seen him kind of have. I'm also just going to throw in this Cincinnati result because it looks like more of the same. And because I know that Doyle might smile about it. So I'm just putting that in there as like kind of the big two takeaways. I don't think we can judge the Charlotte game properly right now.
Nah.
I'd like a larger sample size. I don't love the goals that have been scored by DC.
That's fair.
I think there's some misfortune there. And I'm looking forward to the Portland and the New England matchup.
Cool. All right, Calen, real quick. What do you got for me?
I mean, Vela, but I'm excited for the ones that are coming. There's still so much more to watch this weekend. So I want to see if Joseph can like take it to another level. That's what I'm watching.
All right. Doyle, real quick.
I have
like
no quick
words.
takes. Just
Thank
read
you.
my column on Monday. Just read my column. That's all
that
my
is
take.
so good. That was perfect. Guys, we are going to say farewell, but make sure you tune into Fox right now, 7:30 p.m. Eastern for Portland, hosting the New England Revolution. Thank you so much to everybody who got involved in the chat, who asked us questions. We love that. We're going to try to do a bunch more of this season. So if you had fun, let us know. But we appreciate you guys. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of opening weekend of the MLS season. MLS is back, and we are so glad that you guys chose to hang with us. We'll see you real soon, guys. Enjoy.
Since he got scored on again. Oh, no.